This is round 10 of 11 rounds, so we're near the end here of the event. It's right around the corner, and we're about to conclude the round robin stage and enter the playoffs.
Indeed, we are. We have this round and then another round next week to really solidify our standings and our seedings and all that. And when we get towards the end of the group stage, usually we look at, say, the top 2 or top 3 teams. We look at the bottom 2 or bottom 3 teams, and we know that things probably aren't going to change too much for them. But let's not forget, there are 12 teams here in WTL, and so that still leaves us with 6 teams that are vying for a spot in those playoffs, that are not only vying for a spot in those playoffs, but also trying to avoid potentially getting relegated.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Exactly, and we'll see if they can make it so as we're jumping into game, and in the bottom right-hand corner, we have Clem for Team Liquid.
And remember, we have a Red Bird player playing for Twister Fairy. It's Stats.
Let's go. And as we embrace this, as a reminder, as Clem is going for a bit of a cheeky SUV movement across the map, going for the proxy. Let's go. The reason why Clem doesn't have a webcam is because this is the first week that I believe Clem is playing from Korea. And I believe no cam is available, is playing there, but at least we'll play on even ping with Stats.
Yeah, that's a nice little advantage. I had a whole story planned. I had a whole made-up scenario planned to justify the lack of cam. So I was gonna be like, oh yeah, it's because Paris in the background, people are just running around causing a ruckus.
True.
They have the torch going. They're getting the lakes and the rivers up for the swimming.
There you go. They're flinging their discuses and they're shotting their puts. And they're jabbing their limbs.
It actually landed right in his house.
Yeah. Fun fact, yes.
Right next to him.
No, fun fact, he's right next to the stadium, of course, where they're holding the Olympics, and the shot put actually went through the window and smashed directly onto the webcam. Did miss everything else, thankfully, but the camera was sniped.
It was indeed. So Vuvuzelas, man.
There you go. There you go. Was it the Protoss? Did the Protoss really, were they behind the shot puts?
It was the Protoss Cabal, yeah.
Yeah? There you go.
You think about it, Protoss, they launch balls from Tempest, they launch balls from Disruptors.
Yeah.
So really,
yeah,
they win gold every single time at shot put.
They know how to handle their balls. So when balls are involved, you know that the Protoss are behind it.
Exactly.
Yeah. 2 probe kills. 3.
3 probe kills. Yeah, we're gonna get a 4th. And the Reaper does manage to survive. We also have this bunker up and running. This is what I'm most excited for. Clem, when he's able to play with ping, or without ping, has some of the tightest control in the world.
Oh yeah, exactly. As we already get 4 probe kills, we knocked the Stalker out of position. We shut down. That's a kill, not a cancel on the shield battery as well. And we are getting out of hand. We're getting out of control already. This is so much damage being dealt. The Stalker itself getting low on HP. The shields have been stripped, and he wants that Stalker. He wants even more damage. Actually going for a little bit of both here. Going for the Stalker and the shield battery as well. And we are still not done behind this. We're following this up with a 1-1 with a factory and the starport.
Yeah, Cyclone already making its way across the map. 3rd Reaper coming up to join behind all of this. And Stats, like you said, these Stalkers are in a lot of trouble. Thankfully, the shield battery does get up and running. There is the energy on this Nexus, just in case there needs to be, say, a battery overcharge being thrown out. I mean, I doubt it now that we have 3 Stalkers out and running. I say that, but a Cyclone rocks up.
Yeah, the Cyclone has arrived. The SUV finally went down, so no more repairs. The bunker is going to be killed, not salvaged. Bear that in mind. Back at him, Clem is expanding. He's transitioning out of this with a CC on the way, but he's still not pulling back. The shield battery overcharge has run out, and he wants the Stalkers.
And he will be able to get one of them at the very least, getting a couple more probe kills behind all of this. Clem, he's making the most out of the fact that he doesn't have to play with ping.
Exactly. He takes down 2 more Stalkers. 1 Stalker remaining here. Another Stalker barely does pop out. We snipe the Cyclone. It looks like Stats will hold, but this cost him a lot of units, a lot of supply, and we are still not done. Another Cyclone has arrived, and Clem, he wants another Stalker.
And he's gonna get it. He's gonna get another Stalker behind all of this. I don't want to call this game-ending damage because it definitely isn't, but this is way more than I think I've seen any other Terran player get from this opening in a very long time. He gets the third Stalker! I'm sleeping well tonight, let me tell you. This is gonna be in my dreams tonight.
You're like, mate, let me tell you, I'm a happy boy, Bobby. Let's go, Terran players out there. Oh my god. As we just out-micro, we out-control. You can see Stats laughing. Even Stats, he cannot believe what's going on. We got another Stalker kill as well, and this is getting out of hand.
It absolutely is. Finally, the medevac goes down, the Cyclone goes down behind all of it, but in total, I believe we've had 15 probe kills, something like that. There we go, 15 probe kills, 6 Stalker kills. Those resources lost are... The deficit in resources lost is absolutely absurd. It is so Clem favorite right now. And he's keeping this momentum going with Banshees behind all of this.
Oh yeah, exactly. The pressure does not stop behind this. Clem getting into tank production. We have Cloak on the way. Banshee's already moving out as well, and Stats is barely holding on as it is. We are not ready here for Cloak Banshees. Robo's still on the way. There is no detection. Cloak is not done yet, but once it does kick in, we can just pop off. We can wreak havoc here in the basis of Stats.
Yeah, like you pointed out, this shield battery not done just yet. No detection, and Cloak just finished up.
Yeah, there is no detection. We can just we have free reign of the main base. Probes are falling left and right. The shield battery is not going to be done in time, and we're containing Stats to one base economy. He's stuck on one base economy here, just getting pulled apart left and right. Clem, someone said earlier in the chat that Clem was angry after the 3-0 during Kung Fu Cup. True, he's angry, he's upset, and he's letting out all of his frustrations on Stats.
Yeah, I like to imagine he very specifically said to his team, give me a Protoss opponent this week, because man, I got some steam that needs to be released.
Exactly. Hold on, we're just gonna switch our Discord channel because we're suffering a little bit here, but it's all good. We'll find a nice place to call home. But yeah, with that, we see Clem moving out across the map. He's moving out with our initial tanks, with our Banshees as well, and oh boy, Stats, he cannot hold his third base. There's no way he can hold on to it, right?
Yeah, not in this case. Stats, we call him the Shield of Ire because he's known for very strong defensive play, but yeah, for all Protoss players out there, that defensive play usually kicks in the mid-game. Clem came in right from the very start and said, we're not getting to there. I'm going to make sure that you stay in the early game for as long as possible, and make sure that you are never able to hold your shield in front of you.
I can hear it already, by the way. Like, thankfully the cameras are off right now, but I can see Clem yelling out, "Take it, Max Packs, take it!" and they're in Doom together right now, and then you have Stats going, "What the hell's going on?" Like, it's not me, Pappy. It's not me. Oh my god.
So what's going on? It's like GG is called, and Clem is going to be taking game number 1 here. Yeah, the hallucination fades a little bit. Clem, he looks down at the face below him, and he says, wait a minute, you're not Max Pax. Yeah. I don't even know what Max Pax looks like.
The realization kind of seeps in. You know, he pulls back, he gets off of Stats. He's like beaten on the floor, and calm down, Clem.
He's like, oh my god, Max Pax, you were Stats this entire time?
Ay. GG, well played. A very, very solid, very intense game 1 there, as Clem was just all over Stats. But I want to believe that Stats can bounce back. I don't think game 1 is fully reflective of Stats' skill. I do think that because of the cheese, because of the proxy early on, not quite cheese, but the aggression of Clem, things very quickly snowball out of control. I want to believe that Stats can hold on, can hunker down, and can settle into the mid-game.
Yeah, I definitely think that Stats made the correct choices when you're up against a bunker rush like this, a Reaper bunker rush like this. I mean, it's typically what Protoss does, get a shield battery in your natural base, get a couple of stalkers, and then just work from there. Unfortunately, I don't think Stats was quite anticipating how cleanly Clem was going to be able to execute that, how well he was able to juggle his Cyclones and bounce around all those stalkers. Game number 2, I think we're going to be seeing Stats be perhaps a little bit less conservative when it comes to his defenses. I think we will, like you said, just see him hunker down a little bit more. Because really, who in their right mind expects control on that caliber. Speaking of which, we're going to be on Oceanborn, top left-hand corner. A blue Terran player for Team Liquid. It's Clem.
And in the bottom right-hand corner, we have stats for Twisted Fairy. Ooh, it is, of course, Stats' map choice. He does go for Oceanborn, a bit of a larger map compared to Golden Aura at least, and ideally Stats wants a little bit more freedom, a little bit more wiggle room here in the early game. He wants to play some StarCraft. Let him play some StarCraft.
He does. Yeah, that was definitely a brutal game number 1 for him, and I couldn't put it better myself. Like, he just wasn't able to get into his game. He wasn't able to play StarCraft.
Exactly. So hopefully we can do so. We can already see that Clem is calming down himself. He's going for his racks on the high ground as well. You know, it looks like the frustrations have been vented. Looks like we've gotten it out of our system. We can calm things down, and Clem can play out a bit of a more standard game.
Yeah. He sees clearly now, you know, the rain is gone. Turns out Max Pax, he was rained this entire time, apparently.
True. There you go. The rain is going, so is Max Pax. Coincidence? You know, I don't know.
We'll see.
Have you ever seen Rain and Max Pax in the same room together?
Which rain? Terran rain? Or either way, neither rain.
Yeah,
you know.
Exactly. They could all be one and the same.
They could. Well, they could, but I'm pretty sure I have seen a photo. I'm not saying that the photo is legitimate, or we haven't been able to verify the photo, but I vaguely remember a photo from 2012. Rain and Rain together in the Golem studio.
Oh my god.
Terran Rain and Protoss Rain.
The Matrix struggled to hold together for that one. That's crazy. that's crazy.
That's why you see the photo itself. Yeah, a little bit. There's a little bit of like tear damage.
Yeah.
Digital damage going on there. Yeah.
A little bit of distortion going on.
Yeah.
It's a glitch of the Matrix. But for now, we're going to be calming down. We do see that Clem did open up double gas, so he's going for a double gas opener. That means a later expansion. He's going for a faster factory. Factory is almost done. And from here, Clem can embrace some different builds, some different follow-ups. He can go into Banshee play, Widowmine drops, heavy Cyclone aggression as well. So we'll keep an eye on Clem to see how exactly he does make use of his production.
Yeah, so far we're seeing very Terran things coming out from Clem. Just a double Reaper. Single Hellion scouting force being prepared, but we're going to keep our eyes peeled on the production. We're also going to keep our eyes on that mini-map to see if we do get an add-on swap.
Oh yeah, exactly. As for the time being, I believe that is a reactor on the racks. The factory's making the Widowmine, so no tech lab. So this time we're not rushing into a Banshee. I mean, we were able to flex the Banshees in game 1. Here, we're not going to be rushing into them. So very different kind of setup here. Just Widowmines initially on the way, and I imagine setting up for a Medevac drop.
Yeah, the little 1-2 punch coming in here. Poke around with your Reapers to draw the attention of your Protoss player away from their main, and then just dive in with your mines.
Oh yeah, it's going to be the name of the game here. Meanwhile, additional gateways have been thrown down. It's going to be a blink-based opener from Stats. With 2 more gates, I believe it's going to be a 3-gate setup in total, so very aggressive here. It's a way to gain map control, I should say. It's a way to move out, and we do see that Clem gets eyes on all 3 gateways, on at least 3 gates.
Yeah, I believe he was able to scout the Twilight Council as well, so Clem well aware of what's coming his way. He knows that he does need to set up a little bit defensively. He doesn't want to overreact or anything like that. Again, with 3 gates coming out here from Stats, it is aggressive, but it's not necessarily fully committed, so the last thing Clem really wants to do right now is to overcommit to a defense.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like, Stats should be expanding behind this. Meanwhile, we do see the mine drop being set up. Does boost in, but Stats is in position. He will get some hits off on that Medevac, but the Widowmines, they will borrow
mine. You love to see it. Oh, but very quick reactions do come out here from Stats. Is able to avoid Widowmine fire on most of his probes. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said about the Reaper and the Hellion.
Yeah, really slick move there out of Clem. As we were kind of scrambling to defend against the Widowmines, the Hellion and Reaper, they sipped in. 8 probes going to be going down. Even though the mine shots were a little bit lackluster, the Hellion Reaper makes up for it.
This is almost the complete opposite of conventional wisdom when you set up a drop like this. Like, it's usually you strike your opponent with Reapers and Hellions, your Protoss opponent with Reapers and Hellions, so you dive in with your Widowmines. Clem says, you can distract your opponent with Widow Mines and still get a ton of damage with your 2 Reapers and 1 Hellion.
Oh yeah, it's really impressive here that Clem was able to get so much damage done. As you mentioned, the Widow Mines were merely a distraction, was able to pick off some sentries and stalkers actually, and behind this, the tank count is looking healthy. This means that if Stats moved out, there'd be plenty of tanks in position to defend the bases, and Stats is not moving out, he's stuck at home.
Yeah, this build coming out from Stats pretty much flipped on its head. He wanted to get this map control with his earlier blink, with his earlier gates. He wanted to be out there on the map and potentially find an opening into the bases of Clem. If not, then at the very least try to contain him, maybe pick off reinforcements for the inevitable push coming his way. But instead, he's forced to expand, get a third. That's the last thing I think most Protoss players want to do. But it's the only thing that Sets can do at this point.
Exactly. He's just pinned back at home. And he's taking, don't get us wrong, like he's working towards Colossus and he's working towards upgrades. That's all true and all. But alas, Clem, he's going to be free to take his own third base and expand and try to keep up with the economy of Stats. Stats, he isn't there to contain him. He isn't there to scatter any drop play either. So Clem is free to do that if he so chooses as well. Really, our eyes are on Clem to see what he does with this kind of freedom. See if he does open up and follow up economically or if he just doubles down and just moves out.
Yeah, I'm looking at the boys. Right now, he hasn't made another SCV in a while. Just get a third.
There we go. Third CC is on the way as he moves out, and this move out ideally is designed to apply pressure to the third base to trade at the third as well. If we can somehow bring it down, that'll be amazing.
Yeah, that's ideally what you want to accomplish here with this push, but honestly, I'm looking at the army supply difference right now, Light. I'm remembering how slick Clem's unit control and micro is. I would not be surprised if he's able to take out Stats with this one push.
Oh yeah, he does have quite an army supply lead. For now, he's taking it slow. He's going for the gas geysers. He's going to be able to drop into the natural as well. Colossus is in position. He's going to be able to respond, and we shouldn't lose too much more. Oh!
Hot pickup here on these Marines. Going to be keeping most, if not all of them alive. Wasn't quite able to catch all of them.
Is going to be able to retreat there, pull back. At the same time, Adept's going to be harassing across the map. Meanwhile, Clem is going for a second gas geyser, and he's going to get it.
Yeah, very important pickoffs here for Clem. And these Colossus, they are not cheap. They cost quite a lot of gas, so knocking Stats down to only 2 gases is going to impact his production quite a bit here. It's going to impact him even further when you have a drop in the main base.
Yeah, Stats, he was already down in army supply. Now it's being pulled apart. We have mine shots going off. Big connections here on the Stalkers and on the Sentries. Ooh. At the same time, the Colossus is getting pulled apart. We are going to be able to hold on to the natural, though. Nice swipes.
Yeah, a little bit idle, unfortunately, here for Clem. So Stats is able to push that back for now. Despite taking damage on his gas geysers, hasn't really taken much economic damage, hasn't lost workers or bases or anything like that, so not a bad hold here for Stats, but it's not the end of the hold for him either.
Yeah, this is still merely the beginning here as Stats is holding, yes, and now he's taking a 4th base, and that means that he's spreading himself even more thin. Meanwhile, Clem, he unsieges, and you can see him consolidate his army, bring everything together, and look to head towards that base. Tanks, though, are they getting caught out? No, they're not. The Colossus is getting caught out. We have to calm down.
Indeed, we do, and thankfully for Stats, we do calm down quite a bit here, so yeah, it looks like Stats is going to try to, and yep, he's going to get away with this 4th base. Chases the main army all the way back.
Yeah, nice catch of tanks that forced to pick up. We do see some nice kiting here from Clem. He trades well against Zealots, but he cannot get on top of those Colossus. We have reached critical mass. We've reached 4 Colossus, so we're going to be able to hold on against the Bio Army, and Clem has to retreat, and now we're taking up. Now we have the Ghost Academy on the way. Armory for 2-2. We're getting to the rest of our upgrades. Stats, he's held.
Indeed, he has held, and he has gotten away with murder here. With that 4th base, he even has a Dark Shrine at this point, because why the hell not?
Yeah, Dark Shrine is being thrown down to allow us to harass across the map and get some damage done. It looks like we have some DTs being warped in towards the top right, so we do have quite a bit of harassment potential there.
Colossus going to make it out of here alive, thankfully. Almost got caught in the middle of the map where they wouldn't really be too useful. Not a lot of anti-air, in fact, no anti-air whatsoever here for Stats, so yeah, these Vikings getting a ton of value on these Colossus.
Yeah, Colossus goes down. No shield battery, no overcharge either. The Colossus, they're just getting bullied back by those Vikings. Saw them go down.
Two of them already go down, and Soul Warp Prism across the map. It looks like a couple of SCVs are going down to DTs, but Clem is aware of them now. He's got energy for scans. He can absolutely clean them up and deal with them.
Oh yeah, he just shuts down the Prism, shuts down the DT, shuts down the fourth base of Colossus. Only one Colossus survives. We have some more Zealots and DTs. I mean, Stats is doing a good job here at harassing and just pulling away the attention of Clem, but Stats can never deal with the main army.
No, he cannot. Look at this massive difference. Even with the battery overcharge, Stim on top of this Colossus will make short work of it.
Yeah, exactly. The overcharge barely trying to hold the line here. The overcharge does run out. Tank Volley's massive tank volley is going to be going off as well. The Colossus is exposed, and now we can just stim forward and win. A GG gets called, and Clem will take the 2-0.
Just like so. GG coming out here from Clem, avenging his Kung Fu Cup loss, proving himself in the TVP matchup, and securing a very strong lead here for Team Liquid.
Oh yeah, GG, well played. A solid, very impressive game there from Clem. Getting a bit out of this world here in Game 1. Game 2 was a little bit more laid back, a little bit, but still hyper-aggression out of Clem. He was still all over Stats. Even though Stats was able to expand and take a third and take a fourth, he never really had any breathing room or any freedom to actually be out on the map. I don't think Stats, outside of harassing, ever was able to move out past the halfway mark. Even to the halfway mark.
No, he was not, yeah. That he really was not. Clem really dictating the pace of the game. Both games right from the beginning there. We saw it. Stats, he wanted to switch things up a little bit in game number 2, have a bit of a different dynamic and be the aggressor. But he just was never able to, due to Clem coming in with his mines to take out Stalkers and with his Reapers to take out Probes. Which again is, it sounds like it should be the complete opposite, but Clem, man, he makes miracles happen.
He does, and it's really cool to see Clem, you know, that practice and that time in Korea paying off, right? He's clearly in form, and his goal, of course, while he's staying in Korea is to get better and better. So Clem is one to keep an eye on in the lead up to EWC. Likewise, so is Estrella, as he's also preparing in Korea. But now we're getting ready for another TVP. We're getting ready for Cure versus Classic.
Yeah, one which I think is going to be completely the opposite of what we just saw.
Yeah,
at least in terms of dynamics, you know.
I was gonna say that I'm really excited to see Cure because I haven't seen him in a while. Fun fact: I was actually checking before we went live here on the CranKy Ducklings. I was checking some of the history here of Cure because I was like, I actually haven't seen Cure compete in a couple of weeks. Like maybe I'm missing him, maybe I'm forgetting, but I'm curious, and I quickly checked.
He played last week.
Cure, he has not played in an online weekly tournament in the past month. I think just over a month. Yeah, so just like Hero, he's not playing in ESL Asia, not playing in ESL Americas, he's not playing in KSL, Kung Fu Cup, none of that. So Cure, similarly, I'm assuming that he is also preparing and hiding builds for EWC.
Yeah, WTL is literally the only weekly, or the only event that we've been able to really catch him in the past couple of months, and yeah, we have to savor it while we can. And I like you, Light. I'm curious as to what we're going to be seeing from Cure here. Cure, he's kind of a man of a million builds when it comes to the Terran players. He's, in a way, kind of the everyman Terran, if you will. He's not as stylistic as somebody like Clem or somebody like Björn or Oliveira. But he is somebody who has a lot of tricks up his sleeve. He's kind of a chameleon in that respect, right? He's a jack of all trades. I don't want to necessarily say he's a master of none, because he is very, 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 very good at refining builds and coming up with little tricks here and there to really round off his army compositions and his fights, his engagements. But yeah, he's somebody who's not necessarily as specialized compared to a lot of his contemporaries. And similarly, Classic's kind of the same when it comes to the Protoss players in that respect. He's a bit more of an animal, especially as we've seen in 2024 when he is in a PvP. But yeah, I definitely also think that Classic, while he is a bit more focused on those timing attacks, is a player who can do a little bit of everything when it comes to the Protoss players.
I think the thing about Classic is that he is quite aggressive, but because he's like compared to and right next to Hero, like he looks normal. Like Hero makes him look standard, so that's kind of the perception we get. But in the top right hand corner, we have Kior for Team Liquid.
And over here in the top right hand corner, we have in the bottom left hand corner. Wait. Somewhere on the map here, the map being Alkion, we have Classic, the Red Protoss for Twisted Fairies.
Hey. Let's go.
Now, yeah. Now you're having me question my perception on the Protoss players, which is a dangerous thing to do to begin with. But yeah, I think that there might be some value in that. I think that might be some value in that Classic is not as defensive as somebody like Stats or Showtime. Is quite aggressive usually, but he's always compared to Hero. He's often overshadowed by Hero, who is even more aggressive and more successful in his aggression, unfortunately. So, unfortunately for Classic, so he does get overshadowed there. So, yeah, that might be something to that.
Yeah, when it comes to our perception of him as a player here. So I'm curious how we're going to embrace this. Something that we do know, though, when it comes to Classic and his TVP, if we go for a longer game, and hey, we're loading into Alkione, known for longer macro games, is his want, his need to embrace Sky Toss whenever he can. If we can settle into the mid game, if Classic gets breathing room, if his opponent is a little bit more passive than Classic, he is always willing to throw down a Fleet Beacon and jump into Sky Toss as soon as he sees like an opening for that.
Yeah, it's a huge risk, but something that Classic does like whipping out every now and then. Obviously, teching into Tempest and teching into Sky Toss, that takes quite a while. But Classic, if he can get some map control, if he can contain his Terran opponent, he is one of the first players to really jump at that opportunity.
Oh, and speaking of our stylistic play, do you see what I see, Yaku? That is a second Rax.
I'm getting flashbacks, Light. I'm getting flashbacks to... I'm getting flashbacks to Sunday afternoons of ESL Open Cup Asia, when ESL Asia was on Sunday afternoons. Yep. And Cure doing literally nothing but 3-raxing in every TVP.
Yeah, as you say, here we go. 3 Raxes are on the way, so it's going to be a 3-Rax here from Cure. For those that are curious, this is going to be a stim timing. It's going to be mass bio stim timing out of Cure. Very aggressive, very committed, and if this goes unscattered, this can catch the Protoss player off guard, and this is already looking ideal. Classic is opening up Stargate.
Like so. Yeah, potentially, definitely going to be a weak spot coming out here from Classic, and we'll see if he is able to zoom this Oracle across the map as quickly as he can and try to get eyes on what's going on. And the Adept does come forward and he does scout the reactor. He does scout these Marines, so already that's a little bit of a tip-off.
Yeah, that is a tip-off here, but it could still be like a 2-1-1 variation. It could be 3CC, 3-Rax as well, which is also not the most uncommon build. So Classic is still piecing it all together. He is going Oracle first. Okay, Oracle first will allow us to scatter across the map. This also means that we're not doubling down on pure Phoenix. We already have a much faster Gateway and Twilight Council follow-up.
Here we go. Yeah, definitely a lot safer of a transition here coming out from Classic. Hasn't quite been able to confirm what's coming his way, but he knows he has to prepare for something.
Yeah, like there's a big vulnerability now for Classic because he went from Stargate into Twilight Council. This means that Blink or Charge or whatever upgrade he wants to go for is late, right? It's later than normal, it's later than usual. So there is going to be a window where we have a mass amount of Stim Marines and we're going to have vanilla Gateway units to defend. So this is not going to be an easy hold for Classic.
Yeah, a little bit of a damned if you do, damned if you don't here coming out from Classic, isn't it? I was about to go into a hole, is it going to be Blink or is it going to be Charge? And yeah, he is going to be going to Blink, but even still, Zealots are tanky, but without Charge, they can easily get kited by these Marines. Stalkers are mobile with Blink. Without him, they just melt.
Oh yeah, exactly, and here we go, we're sending everything across the map. We spoke about it, this is the sim timing that Kira is going for. Combat Shields finishing up as well, so we have the double upgrades and we need shield batteries. Again, Blink is not even halfway done. Because of the build of choice, because of the opener of Classic, he has very little to work with and he's going to have to make use of his army as best as he can and hold on to that overcharge and make sure he doesn't waste that either.
Yeah, I really like these moves here, trying to force out some premature stims on Cure. Already getting one, he gets another. Battery recharge does get popped, but look at all these Marines. Look at all this DPS. Cure, he's not even going for the battery. He takes out the Oracle, takes out a couple Stalkers, and actually can't afford to stim too much more.
I mean, it's already been 2 stims. There we go. Third stim has been spent, but the overcharge barely maintains those Stalkers, and Classic, he will hold on to the natural base. Blink is still not quite done, but this army is overstimmed.
Just like so. Immortal about to pop out as well, and that's just about going to be the final nail on the roof of Classic's defense.
Yeah, exactly. As we see another stim, we're going to pick off a couple of gateway units, but overall, as you mentioned, Classic, he will hold, he will shut this down. It was a bit scary, like that was a bit of a hold your breath moment for Classic, but he was barely able to defend. Now we can expand, and now he has map control with Blink.
Like so, he's going to be chasing down these final remnants of Marines before going across the map and going to try to contain Cure on 2 bases for as long as possible. I can already smell it from here, Light. I can already hear the Tempest arriving.
What does Tempest smell like? What is... Okay, oh no.
Very, very orange. Very citrusy, if you will.
Okay.
But an artificial kind of citrus, you know,
Okay.
like citrus flavoring, like what we have here in Singapore. Not like a natural citrus.
Okay. It's not natural. I like it. Yeah, we'll see if we head in that direction. For now, third bases are getting up and running for both players. Cure has his third CC. Classic has his own third Nexus. Again, Classic was able to survive the initial build of choice of Cure, and now he's going to be able to settle things down and calm down and get into a better setup here. Really, the pressure's on Cure to try to find some more damage. He is being active, at least, with those drops.
And we'll see if he can find them. Classic still in a little bit of his transition. I mean, he's getting Colossus out. He does have 1 Colossus, but doesn't have much of a buffer for it. Thermal Ant's not done just yet, so these small amounts of Marines and Marauders can find a couple of openings here and there, can try to go for mineral lines or pylons.
Oh yeah, exactly. We'll see what we can pick off here as we're kind of skirting around the edge of the map, skirting around the edge of the bases. That's going to be a massive gateway explosion for Classic on 3 bases. He's getting up to 8 gates. I think even more than 8 gateways at this point. So this is going to be a really big charge timing going to be available here for Classic.
Yeah. Terrifying timing when Terran doesn't quite have all their upgrades. The Warp Prism, however, will get caught in the middle of the map. Not a lot of anti-air, but enough to take it out.
Oh, the Prism will fall. Massive pickoff at the same time. Double drop into the main base. Looks like Classic does have units in position for the most part. Is going to be able to respond. Is going to be able to shut this down. At the same time, Cure pushing in towards the natural base. But Classic, he's likewise in position as well. He will defend both locations at once.
Just like so. We'll be trading out a couple of gateway units to get it. We'll be losing 1 pylon, but not the biggest of deals.
Yeah, that was actually a lot of Stalkers going down, so that was an expensive trade for Classic. He holds, don't get us wrong, but again, that was, what, like 7 Stalkers falling. That was quite gas-intensive, and that does mean that any kind of counterattack here from Classic is going to be delayed as Cure continues his drop play.
I did not realize that was a number of Stalkers that went down. Yeah, that definitely puts things into perspective quite a bit, looking at the army supply difference now.
Yeah, as Cure, he does maintain that army lead, moving out with that double drop. At the same time, Prism moving out on the right-hand side. Looks like Classic wants to go for his own drop play. We'll see if he can get across the map, but getting past Cure is not going to be the easiest here as the army is spotted, and Cure is looking for another aid.
I'm loving the Marauder-heavy army composition coming out here from Cure. The double medevac drop does not get scouted until the very end. Cure once again finding a massive opening in the Armor Classic.
Yeah, picks off some Zealots, getting into the mineral line. Probes are being targeted as we speak as well, so very nice trades out of Akira. He gets the hell out of the main without losing a single unit, and Classic is still pinned back at home. He's still being contained, is at least taking a 4th, but Classic is stuck at home.
Yeah, like so we're gonna have to put a pin on those Tempests for the time being, as Classic, he's lost his map control. He isn't safe to transition just yet.
Yeah, he even tries to go for a Zealot run by, but we are in position. Vikings as well. The Prism gets shut down, and we clean up the harass. Now, Classic still has a proxy gateway out on the map, so he can still warp in, and he can still go for Zealot run bys. There is still potential for that, as the gateway is just now finishing up. But outside of that, he is once again stuck at home, and he's going to be just building up his army. Storm is about to finish.
And that will definitely help out a lot in the defenses. Massive Zealot run by thrown out here from Classic in the hopes that it draws Cure's army back, but Cure is committed. He knows he has an opening. He knows that Classic is going to be at his weakest in a while, so he has to go for it.
Yeah, he does have to go for it. And back at home, he will bleed out 5 SCVs, but for the most part, his reinforcements will clean up those Zealots. And here we go, double drop into the main base. Main army sneaking up on the natural, going for the robos, going for the production.
Massive Widowmine field, just about zoning out any stray unit out in the map. Widowmine going to be taking out the High Templar as well before it can really get any storms out. 27 probes go down, and all of a sudden, Cure has stolen the momentum.
Yeah, he just caught Classic completely out of position. We do have some more High Templar coming in, Colossus as well, but the damage has been done. We snipe a Colossus, we snipe a second Colossus. Massive pickoffs here from Cure, and Classic is being pulled apart.
Yeah, Cure, finally that bio army does get cleaned up. Finally, Classic is able to chase this back, but Cure still has almost double the army supply behind all of this. And we'll have an even higher army supply, as it takes him much less time to remax than it takes Classic to remax.
Exactly. Cure, he's on the cusp of maxing out, moving right through the center of the map. Classic just warped in some Zealots. He doesn't really have the warp-ins to try to harass across the map. The Archon is going to get caught out as well, and Classic, he has to rely on purely Storm to hold on. I believe he lost all of his Colossus. I don't think he has much left to hold.
He doesn't, but I'm just impressed that an Archon survived.
It did.
it's not going to survive for much longer. That's a lot of ghosts in Cure's army with a lot of energy, but yeah, it lived for now.
Yeah, he did slip away. For the time being, but here we go. We're collapsing from multiple angles. EMP does connect with the Archons. Nice Storm on the right-hand side, and we have another Storm available, but the EMPs are insane.
Yeah, I like the idea here from Classic to try to box Cure's army in for as much as he can, but alas, the math was not on his side. Those EMPs were crispy coming out here from Cure, and just like that, he's going to take game number 1.
GG, well played. Cure, we spoke about it, or I alluded to it, how we have been really missing Cure over the past, a month and a half here. He has not been competing in online events or online weekly tournaments specifically, and I was curious what his form was like, and here he is looking on point. The initial 3 racks did not do as much damage as I'm sure he hoped, but at least in the follow-up, the drop play, that's where he really excelled.
Yeah, I mean, how does that saying go? We have literally never seen Cure's 3 racks work out for him or give him a significant lead or anything like that, and yep, that still maintains true. But Cure, he was able to recover from that setback in the early game. He was able to bounce back, get into his own mid-game, get into that drop play, and really turned the tables on Classic over there.
Oh yeah, did turn those tables, and Classic was just unable to keep up. And here we go, we're getting into our next game, and spotting in the top left-hand corner, we have Cure for Team Liquid.
And we hear about it right we have for Twisted Fairies as our Red Protoss player. It's Classic. I do want to, before we get into game number 2, I do just want to mention one thing that I thought was, if Classic had won that game, would have been the absolute MVP for him. His Stalkers in the early game, forcing out that premature stim coming out from Cure. That was, I think, the move that really kept Classic alive and really allowed him to survive into the mid-game. He unfortunately wasn't quite able to keep up with all the drop play from Cure later down the line, but he didn't lose immediately. He managed to keep the record, or maintain the streak of Cure's 3 racks never working.
Yeah, it's one of those things where we glossed over it, but as you mentioned, that was a really impressive hold out of Classic. Any lesser player, and even put Hero in that exact scenario where we open up Stargate, we followed up with the Twilight Council, that was a very close hold, and it was not an easy defense there for Classic, and we've seen many a Protoss fall then and there, so yeah, it was really cool to see him pull off that defense and survive. But alas, still just wasn't enough to bring it home.
That was a huge risk going out in the middle of the map like that, or I guess not quite in the middle of the map, but outside of his base, outside of shield battery range, when he didn't have stim on his stalkers, he really had to focus and make sure that he was controlling those stalkers as best he can, make sure that he didn't leave them a little bit too idle, and yeah, worked out for him. It allowed him to survive.
Yeah.
And we got to see a lot more of both Cure and Classic in a more what's the word I'm looking for here, Light? A more protracted? That's not the word I'm looking for.
Excuse me?
A game that actually played out into the mid-game.
Yeah, it's all more back and forth, a more dynamic kind of mid.
A little bit more like, 30 degrees. 40 degrees, I don't know.
What?
Protractor.
Oh, I see.
Math.
Yeah. You know how it is. We got the degrees, we got the angle, right?
Yeah.
Is it hot?
We taped the protractor to a ruler.
True.
And so we pretended that it was an axe.
What? What?
Was that not a thing you did in school?
What?
Was that not a thing you did in school?
No.
Oh. Alright.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. Did it help?
And I put tape on another. It didn't help me in my grades.
Okay.
It didn't help me at math.
Okay.
But it helped me get cred when we played Barbarians.
Okay. Fair enough. And that's what matters most.
Exactly.
As the Reaper gets across the map, gets a worker kill. Not bad at the same time. We have the Adept across the map as well, denying mining time here at the natural base. So both players taking some economic blows here and there. Nothing too major, as Cure did go for a more economic start, and now is settling into his 1-1-1. This time, no 3 racks at a Cure.
Yep. It's glad to see that Cure has remembered his past or his history of 3 racks never working for him, so we're going to be seeing something a lot more normal coming out from him this time.
We're calming down. We're calming things down here. We're settling into a 1-1-1, right? It's usually not ideal to rely on one build throughout a series, so, we're going to be varying things up here from the side of Cure, just poking in wherever he can and setting up for his drop play as well. Yep.
Should be seeing the pretty standard Widowmine drop coming out from. Not quite going to be seeing it accompanied by Reapers and Hellions, but you don't always need that.
Yeah, the Widowmine drop is making its way towards the main base. It looks like Classic is in position. He is, of course, aware of the mine drop timing, so we'll see if we can find some damage nonetheless. Damage or even scatting information. We can see that this time there's no Stargate. It's going to be a Twilight Council opener for Classic.
Yep, and Cure will be able to confirm that. Widowmine's not quite connecting with probes, but we'll take out a Stalker, we'll take out an Adept. The important thing is Cure confirms what's coming this way.
Okay, he's fully aware of the Blink Stalkers. We can see that it's not going to be a committed Blink Stalker build. We're getting into a third base, but that is going to be fast charge.
Did Blink finish?
I assume that it... Yeah, it did, yeah.
Okay.
I had me second guessing myself.
I had to do a double take because that is a very, 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 very fast charge.
It is.
Being research coming out here from Classic.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to be doubling down on gateway aggression. We're not... instead of charge, typically we would see like a bay, right, for Colossus production, or a setup to take up in another direction, even towards Storm, but no charge instead, so very Swarm Toss style out of Classic. We'll see if he doubles down. My apologies, we will not double down. Now we see a bit of a more delayed bay out of Classic.
Huh. Yeah, an interesting choice coming out here from him. A little bit of 2018 vibes. This was kind of a build or unit composition that Classic himself popularized in PvT, the swarm toss into Colossus, which was unbeatable, which was practically unbeatable unless your name was Björn or Maru.
It had its reign of dominance back in the day, definitely. I'm sure Rain was somewhat involved as well when it came to the concoction of the build. But we do see Cure going for the natural, getting a couple of probe kills. I'm loving the Aura Turrets. Oh, as the probes have almost nowhere to go, thankfully. Okay, they're not pinned in. For a moment, I thought they were trapped. Only getting 2 probe kills. Oh, getting up to 3.
Yeah, not too bad here for Cure, but could have definitely been a lot worse for Classic.
Could have been.
Stim. Yeah, could have been worse. Stim now about to finish up here from Cure, and we're seeing a very interesting bio-heavy push coming out from him without any tanks, without any... Well, I don't want to say without any Widow Mines. They will be here eventually in the fight.
Yeah, they're on the horizon here for Cure. He's just moving out for the time being, taking his third base, saturating. As he expands, of course, he's ideally going to be applying pressure to the third base of Classic. Don't really think he intends to break Classic anytime soon, but we'll see how much damage he can get done. Bearing in mind that Colossus production was delayed, so there's only going to be one Colossus out for this push, but we'll see if that's going to be enough to hold on.
Indeed, we shall. Shieldberry being set up on the high ground over here. Cure gonna be avoiding that for now. Gonna be trying to fight in more open ground. Oh, the Zealots getting set up for a surround.
Yeah, they're set up behind the main army. Cure making his way towards the triangular third base. Again, just sharking around, looking for any kind of damage. At the same time, Stray Zealot does hit the third base, getting quite a lot of damage, actually. 3 SCVs here for one Zealot. 4 SCVs, 1 Zealot. Not a bad trade here for Classic.
Yeah, that's what happens when your reinforcements are all Marauders. Or 3 Marauders, specifically. This mineral line will not quite get up and running. The Zealots will eventually get cleaned out. But that's quite a lot of damage.
Yeah, we get 8 SCVs. We trade with the Bio Army as well, getting a Marauder. And you can see Cure's main army does turn back around. Was unable to really apply any pressure, was unable to really get much done. Classic is still on 3 bases. We should soon be seeing a 4th. And yeah, Classic has just been slowly building up.
Slowly but surely. Getting into his game, starting to play some StarCraft.
Yeah. Yeah, right, like actually getting into a stable 3 and soon to be 4 base economy, so we can see more of a back and forth. I'm sure this is one of the big reasons why we saw this map chosen by Classic as well, despite the intense drop play that Cure had in game 1. Here, this third base is much more defendable, and you saw that Cure just wasn't able to really get a window or get a handle on any of these bases, so had to back off, and yeah, Classic able to settle it.
Yeah, now we're seeing him make use of that comfort and that map control. Flirted a little bit with getting a 5th base by that gold, but yeah, I think he's aware of the army movement of Cure now, so he's not quite going to be gunning for that just yet. He knows he needs to regroup his army outside this 4th base and deflect this push.
Yeah, he's just macroing on up here. He's up to 2 Colossus, soon to be 3. Disruptors are on the way. Shield battery is done. We are ready. We are in position. At the same time, though, Cure does have Ghosts. He does have EMPs. And
that was a juicy EMP if I've ever seen one. Coating just about every single Zealot.
Big EMP. Meanwhile, we have another EMP likewise connecting. Does connect with the Stalkers this time. You can see Cure slowly getting ground. And his tank is within range of the base.
They're going to be shelling away at it slowly but surely. It also connected with the shield battery, I do believe. So, yeah, we have battery overcharge right now, keeping the army of Classic alive. But, yeah, it runs out, and that shield battery doesn't have energy on it anymore.
Yeah, and this 4th base is so exposed. We're coming in from behind. We're setting up a surround.
Yeah, but that's a lot of DPS coming out from Cure. He will be able to take out the Zealots, and reinforcements are coming in. Stalkers did blink away from the Colossus, which means that these Vikings have free reign to take them out.
That was a brutal blink. It exposed the Colossus. One of them goes down. 2nd Colossus as well. And Classic is being broken. Curie snowballing out of control. Nova goes off, and it looks like the Nova does get a juicy connection. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's going to be keeping Classic alive. But to what end?
Exactly. The Nova now on the Disruptor now on cooldown is going to be reinforcing barely here with some Stalkers. Classic is barely holding onto this base, but again, it's still quite low, still quite vulnerable. Cure has to back off and consolidate his army, though. Cure looks like he did lose enough to force him to back off.
Like so. Classic once again gaining a bit of breathing room that he's going to utilize to get a 5th by that gold.
Honestly, if it wasn't for that Nova, I think Classic may just be dead. Like
100%, yeah.
I don't think Cure would have backed
forward,
off.
That would have been one stim forward would have made short work of this Protoss army.
Yeah, so very clutch hold here by Classic. He barely does survive. Now the Disruptor count is getting higher and higher. He's got 3, soon to be 5 Disruptors. And as the Disruptor count gets higher, it's going to be that much more difficult to actually stim and try to get on top of the main army. Likewise, Cure has no idea of the attempted gold.
That he does not. Cure still focusing on trying to break the main army of Classic here and now, and I can't say I blame him. He knows for a fact that if he lands a couple of EMPs, there's a good shot of him taking out the army of Classic, and once he takes out the army of Classic, he has free reign on the map. He can just keep this push going.
Exactly, so he's gunning for that Zealot run by across the map, catching reinforcements. Marauders, Marines, Widowman's going to be going down, but at the same time, we do get a Doom drop into the main.
Yeah, thankfully for Classic, though, there was a cannon that drew some of the aggro of these units, and he was able to evacuate his probes. Only 2 of them go down.
Yeah, only 2 workers, but that was a big Nova catching 3 Marauders. We got a medevac as well. Curie's going to be cleaned up. He only gets 2 workers, and yeah, with that, he's going to be pinned here in the corner of the map. At the same time, you can see the movement of Curie's main army. He's headed towards the bottom left. He checks that Zelnaga, and he might be able to get eyes on the gold. He does.
Oh, he turns. Yeah, he's going to be able to take it out. A couple of Widowmines set up here to deal specifically with these Zealots. Nice little split coming out here from Classic, but nonetheless, can't say I'm a big fan of his army.
Classic, he wants to try to catch this. Right now, Cure is cornered. He's cornered in the corner of the map, and we'll see if we can try to catch this as Nova's going to be going off.
Yeah, the 1-2 punch coming out here from Classic. Nova's connect with a huge chunk of that army, and the Stalkers blink in to catch the medevacs after the hot pickup. 15 probes will go down from the side of Classic, but it looks like Classic, he's finally cleaning this up. He's finally taken out the drop of Cure.
Exactly. You can see Cure's army supply plummet. The drops have been dealt with. The main army was dealt with as well, and now Classic can move out. It did cost him a mineral line and a base, so economically, Classic is not in an amazing position. I'd actually say that Cure is ahead of the economy quite heavily, actually. So Classic, the pressure is on. He has to look for another fight.
Indeed, he does. I'm loving Classic's army now. I was doubting it a little bit earlier on, but a couple of good juicy Purification Novas definitely changed my mind. He cannot keep this game going for too much longer. He has a strong army, and he needs to end it now.
Oh, and massive connections once again on the Bio Army. Classic. He's snowballing out of control. Again, as you mentioned before, give him some balls, Pappy. He can handle them beautifully. He does what Protoss do best. As Disruptors, they lead the charge. We're making our way over towards that fort.
Yeah, them shot put events. Enough. He's getting gold.
He is looking for that gold medal here, as the Colossus is going to be going down. But once again, the Novas are insane as we get so much value, so much good connections here. As I say that, though, the Gateway Army is actually getting a little bit smaller here. We're running out of Zealots.
Yeah, we're running out of Zealots, and the Warp Prism goes down. So it's not a whole lot to reinforce here. Those balls, they were fantastic. They were meaty. They dealt a lot of damage, and they were juicy, but when you don't have a Gateway Army to support them, they kind of fall.
Yeah, Classic overextends.
Kind of drop.
He loses everything, but a big reason for this, we spoke about it, because of the lack of economy for Classic, he just couldn't reinforce. He just didn't have the resources to keep himself going, and as a result, every single Disruptor goes down. Kira going for a massive counterattack, pushing into overcharge. Not going to be easy, but it looks like he has enough.
GG is called, and Cure going to be taking this series 2-0, going to be securing Team Liquid's place in the playoffs.
Wow, GG, well played. Congratulations here as Cure, he pops off with a 2-0. That was a very close game though. That was back and forth. The pendulum just kept swinging towards Cure, towards Classic, back and forth. But at the end of the day, it did come down to the fact that Classic, he ran out of steam. You mentioned it, just before that final fight, how Classic, he was running out of time because he just could not sustain his army, and eventually he did run out.
Yeah, that's kind of the double-edged sword of Golden Aura, right? You will be able to defend, but it's going to be a little bit trickier to counterattack.
Oh yeah.
I swear I had a good thought to go along with that. But I swear I had some kind of analysis to go along with that, but then midway after I opened my mouth, my brain was like, nope. You're on your own now.
The brain, it left you hanging, Pappy. It left you all alone. Oh no. But yeah.
Instead I ended up with the Madden brain.
GG, well played. Very impressive performance there out of Cure, and this bodes well. I mentioned before that we have seen very little of Cure this past month, these past couple of weeks here, as he has been inactive. He has not been competing in tournaments, and it looks like at least here in TVP, he is on point. Not just talking about his builds, but his fundamentals, like his unit control, his drop play specifically. We saw that Classic was able to keep up somewhat here, but yeah, I should say that the macro behind Cure was surpassing that of Classic. You know, despite even some medevacs going down, he could sustain himself in those losses.
Yeah, without a doubt. The macro is on point. His drop instincts, I mean, as you were pointing out, his drops were fantastic, but for Cure to just very decisively say, I'm going to load up these 4 medevacs right now, and I'm going to set them up outside your 4th base, because there's, or not the 4th base, sorry, outside your main base, because there is no way with this main army of Colossus breathing down my neck, you're going to be able to get back there in time.
Oh yeah, so that was a banger of a game. I was hoping for a back and forth, and I was hoping that a Classic would bring it back there and extend the series, but alas, that is not meant to be. But we're still getting ready for our next best of 2. Up next, we have a PvP between SKillous and Nice.
Indeed, we do. The Protoss just keep on coming. Now the question is, when you have 2 Protoss players in the shot put, who gets the gold?
Exactly. Who will be able to handle their balls that much better here? Is it going to be SKillous? Is it going to be Nice? We're getting ready here for the final best of 2 of this series. Now, because it's already 4-0 in favor of Team Liquid, there is no potential for an ace match, unfortunately. So there's a little bit less on the line for this best of 2, but that could also help Nice a little bit if the pressure is off.
Yeah. A little bit of a weight, off his shoulders. He can just do his own thing and get into his own game, maybe surprise us a little bit, surprise his opponents as well.
Yeah.
Because once again, map score still going to be very important in the seeding of the tournament itself, but also the seeding of the tournament and the seeding of the placements as we go into the playoffs potentially, but also the individual map wins are going to be very, very important when it comes to seeding for some of the other SC Boy events.
Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly. So there's still some decent amount. There's still a decent amount on the line here for Nice, and we'll see if he can bring it back. SKillous, of course, he is going to be the favorite player. I will say that, but it's the PvP. Anything can happen.
Exactly. We have seen. Oh man, we've seen things that you wouldn't believe.
Yeah. We've seen cannon rushes. We've seen DTs in state, and game 1 is going to be on Amphion.
Yeah. Banger of a map. It's one that I think we've been seeing a lot more being chosen first by SC Boy, which I definitely appreciate.
Yeah, exactly. Good to embrace some of these otherwise typically vetoed maps. Meanwhile, has Nice's collection of plushies been
He's got more,
bigger?
Yeah. it's a larger pile now. It's actually poking up above his head.
Yeah.
Now, which it wasn't previously.
Yeah. Okay, I thought I was seeing things. I was like, there's something different going on right now, but
he's adopting them. He's getting more of them growing in his army of plushies.
Oh yeah.
I'm digging the contrast of Nice's room and Skills' room.
Yeah, one is full of plushies, the other is very bare bones.
Nice at night, he's got his plushies to snuggle up to. Skillous, I don't think there's a blanket on that bed. It's cold at night over there in the Netherlands.
He's got his #1 fan. He's got his clothes hanger right next to it as well, so he can dry his clothes with the fan in the middle of the day. Let's go.
Yeah, so we have it. Skillous in the top left for Team Liquid.
And in the bottom left-hand corner, we have Nice for Twisted Theory.
I'm not gonna lie, Light. I recognize now when you say he's got his #1 fan, you mean the fan that's blowing at his bed.
Yes.
I thought you were gonna make a joke that he's got his #1 fan himself hanging behind him.
No. I'm a Skillous fan. Okay, big fan of.
You're gonna throw fans. Fans? No, you were gonna throw hands. Because obviously Skillous is not Skillous' #1 fan.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah. I'll fight him for it.
Yeah.
Ay. As we are settling in now, because we're loading into Amphion. Interesting. I was gonna say it's very standard to go for the gateway on the low ground at the ramp, just because there's a ramp coming into the natural, so much more defendable, does lead to more economic builds. But SKillous is the one to vary it up and open up 2 gates.
Oh boy. Here we go. So not going for that defensive opening that Nice is opting for. This time it should mean that Nice will be able to get his Nexus out a lot sooner. We say should, because we still have SKillous' probe here, making it very annoying for him.
Exactly. Basically, with this opener of SKillous, he has the potential to go for a 1-base all-in. Doesn't have to, but he does have that available to him. Nice if he's a little bit too greedy, if he's a little bit too economic. We can see here as we only have 1 gas geyser for Nice. That means, bam, Nexus has been taken. Nice is being very greedy here by rushing into that Nexus. SKillous embraces the gas steal, and I want to see the 1-base all-in. Double down, Papi. Double down.
This is why you're his #1 fan.
Yeah.
The gas steal.
The gas stealer himself, keeping Nice on a 1 gas economy for the time being. And there it is. There's the proxy.
Here we go. The hits, they just keep on coming here from Team Liquid.
Oh yeah, SKillous is going for the all-in. Nice is trying to set up here. He's forced to take the gas guys on the low ground instead, bearing in mind as well that Nice has delayed tech because he only went for a single gas opener, so the Robo is going to be late. The Stargate's going to be late. Like, things are looking a little bit dire here for Nice.
They are, especially because SKillous, he's not just doubling down, he's tripling down.
Oh yeah.
Robo proxy alongside a gateway, a forward gateway being thrown. I'm worried for Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be a 1-base all-in. It's going to be straight up 1-base all-in here from SKillous with 3 gateways and the Robo with this. We can go for Immortals, we can go for Prism. Now Nice will scout, Nice will confirm, but knowing is merely half the battle.
Yeah, knowing is half the battle. You still have the other half of doing, which
Forge?
also involves coordinating a response. Forge coming out from Nice. That is an interesting choice.
Yeah, I mean, he does have limited production and has limited resources available, so cannons are an interesting choice. We'll see if that pays off. The first Immortal's on the way. For the time being, Nice is a full wall off, and he is holding the line. Shield battery is done. Backup shield batteries are on the way. We're just waiting for that Immortal to rock up so we can try to bust down that wall.
Yeah, we'll see if SKillous decides to wait for a Warp Prism or anything like that to try to juggle. No, he does not. He knows he needs to strike while the Forge is not up.
Yeah, and here we go. The shield battery is going to be denied. The pylon is under fire. I believe that's an Artosis pylon.
It is, in fact, an Artosis pylon, which is why this battery overcharge is super, super important. Shield battery taking Immortal, taking a couple of hits, so SKillous has to be a little bit more careful, but not for too much longer. As the Warp Prism is out here, and we can start juggling.
Yeah, the Prism is on the way. We can juggle back. Force Field is going to keep the army pinned back. We're going to knock down the Cybercore. Cybercore is going to fall, and that's going to open up the attack path here for all the Adepts.
Just like so. Thankfully now for Nice, he does have another pylon supporting the Artosis pylon, but that's still a lot of Adepts. That's still a lot of DPS on from that Immortal. There's still a whole lot more that SKillous can get done. You know,
yeah, shield
sentries.
Sentries.
They are the bane of Void Rays now.
They are. They tickle away at that Void Ray. It's going to be brought down. The pylons are falling as well. GG gets called as SKillous. He breaks through, snowballs out of control, and SKillous takes game number 1.
Even he can't believe he took that. He's like, that happened.
GG. Yeah,
got like
again,
a thinking face going on.
Yeah, SKillous, who was able to break through. Again, Nice, unfortunately, he was locked down. The force fields were insane. Nice, he lost, I want to say, 2 Stalkers and a Sentry because of those force fields as he was locked in place, and we saw SKillous able to break through. Sure, we had a Void Ray, but we had enough anti-air to keep that Void Ray pinned back. He couldn't quite commit. Sentries, bearing in mind, they no longer tickle Protoss units. Now they actually deal quite a bit to them as well, and yeah, Nice just could not commit in, could not defend. And can we pull off a clean sweep? Can we get a perfect 6-0?
It's very possible at this point. I want to believe in Nice. I want to believe that he's going to be fighting back. You know, he has the power of the plushies and Gongcha, question mark? Whatever he was sipping on.
Yeah.
And now we're getting into Ghost River, which is his map pick. So, Nice. I believe he has a plan here. I believe he is going to be looking to turn the tables and out-aggressive, out-attack SKillous here.
Yeah, he's looking to out-aggress attack Nikita, and we'll see if he can. I mean, on a map like Ghost River, going for a one base all-in is not unheard of, so it's very possible that Nice is going to be aggressive himself, as you were saying. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on Nice loading into our second game.
Indeed, we shall. Well, you can keep your eye on Nice. I'm keeping my eye on the plushies in the background.
Yeah, they have
one of
jackets.
them has the AFK hat. Yeah, they have jackets, they have hats.
You can see.
Are they sewn into them, or do you buy them separate? Anyway, over here in the top right-hand corner, we have our blue Protoss player for Team Liquid. It's SKillous.
And in the top left-hand corner, we have Nice for Twisted Fairy. He's got like the IKEA, like the shark.
Oh, he does. Blahaj.
Yeah, Bluha.
What?
What's it called?
Blahaj, I think.
Is it called Blahaj?
Blahaj, but there are like weird accents on some of the letters, so...
Yeah. It's a shark.
Yeah, it's a shark. Do. There's another one now from IKEA. There's a red or a pink shark, which I don't remember the name.
Yeah, they've got like a...
They're best friends.
They've got like a
apparently.
series. Because the shark was so popular, they released like a bunch of the other animals as well. But none of them are anywhere near as successful as the shark. So, but they're trying. They're trying.
Yeah. Well, it's like, you have to have a leader of the pack, right? You have to have the, It's like a boy band. You have to have that one member who just stands out and has all the fans.
Yeah. And
the IKEA boy band coming to you soon.
Okay.
Featuring Blahaj and I want to say Rohaj,
because
it's a red shark, but I'm not sure.
You can throw in Bluha there as well. The bigger.
Yeah.
The bigger
Eventually, you'll have Green Haj.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's why he's called Blue. Yeah, they all have different colors, different names. True.
Yeah. They'll merge together to form Mekashaj. Mekash.
Oh no. Is there like a rival like furniture store that has like a lizard, like a can we see like a mecha shark versus mecha like Godzilla thing going on? Is that?
Well, you specified furniture, but I always assumed that the #1 rival to IKEA was Lego.
Are they?
It might be. I don't know.
I don't think they go for the same markets, Yaku. I don't think they sell similar things at all.
Don't they know, if you think about it?
True. You can make things
you have
out of
to
Lego.
assemble them.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True.
You have to. They sell assembly projects.
Why does Lego not sell like sets to build your own chair and build your own bed and build your own desk? Yeah, out of Legos.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a market.
Yeah.
People would do it.
Think about that. That's the big thing, right? Everything has to be modular now.
Mm-hmm. Yo, that's like peak modulation. Imagine if all your furniture is made out of Lego, and then you can just like add stuff to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to lie down on a bed made out of Lego?
Exactly.
Or step on a floor mat of Lego.
Yeah. Step on it. As we do end up catching a Stalker. Nice bleeding out of Stalker. We do see a more economic opener out of SKillous. Nice, likewise doing the same, so we're not going for one base all-ins. It was 2 gate openers all around, and Nice just bleeding out a unit here, but we're going to be looking to settle into a bit of a longer game.
Aww. I was hoping for something a little spicier coming out here, but yeah, we're seeing things very normal, a little bit more vanilla, if you will.
Exactly. So after an intense game 1, we're just calming things down. We can see Nice's have the Stalker lead, but without the shield battery, SKillous can maintain himself even with a bit of a smaller army. At the same time, it looks like Nice did open up Stargate. Oracle making its way towards the main. There is no shield battery, but we do have 2 Stalkers in position.
Yeah, and already they're going to be able to chase away the single Oracle. Second Oracle now in production from Nice, so he's going to try to get something done here with his opening, but already a much better start for SKillous than it is for Nice.
Oh yeah, much better start here. As we're able to deflect the initial aggression. I mean, at least the Oracle's still alive, so Nice can still threaten to dive into a mineral line. Oh, that's going to be a double Oracle setup here, so we can one-shot workers. There is potential for Nice, but potential is, you know, still, we have to make use of it. We still have to make it happen, get some work done.
Yeah, potential is only 10%.
Yeah.
Of all.
10% the concentrated power of will.
Yeah. It's 4% pride, 4% power.
100% reason to remember the name? Is that how it goes? I don't...
4% hungry, 4% devour.
There you go. And put it all together, you know what you get?
Lego.
Mecha Shark.
Mecha Shark. There we go.
Good. As we are going to be moving out across the map. Again, these Oracles weren't able to get any damage done. They're going to be throwing down their stasis traps outside of the natural, outside of the third. But we are going to be working towards Blink, actually. Okay, so a very different follow. We have Blink from SKillous and Charge from Nice.
Yeah, not quite where I expected this to go here from Nice. Usually when we do see an Oracle opening, we do see Blink immediately as a follow-up, or, you know, Blink Immortal, or even Blink Disruptors from some players, no names. But instead it is going to be Charge. We should be seeing a bit of a quicker Temple Archive sign coming out from Nice pretty soon, but so far we are still on 2 bases, so it's going to be quite a ways off.
Did that song actually add up to 100%, or did it not? Like, did they do the math?
I'll take their word for it. It's more, look, all of those numbers, it's more than I have fingers, it's more than I have toes, so
okay.
I'm just gonna take their word for it that it adds up to 100.
Okay. They know what they're doing. And even if it doesn't, right, like, you know, just have 200% or something. Just do it.
Exactly. You know, when you think about it, winning is just 100% confidence at the end of the day. So if it doesn't add, if all the rest of it doesn't add up, yeah, just cut it with some confidence, you know.
Yeah, just cut
it in. Yeah. Just cut it. Just you know, add some filler in there.
Yeah. Just increase the volume and increase the weight so you can sell it for more.
Exactly.
Without them realizing that there's something else than confidence in it.
They will be able to tell the difference.
Yeah, they don't know.
That's what happens when you have confidence.
Yeah. What? What are we talking about?
Pride, power, will.
Okay.
The Rock.
Yeah, just cut it with The Rock. Just add some Dwayne.
Yeah. Gateway Explosion coming out here from Nice, but a little bit of an inopportune time as SKillous is looking to push out and looking to not quite end this, but looking to get some damage.
Yeah, he's looking to just poke in here. I mean, with our heavy tech army, with Immortals, with Archons going to be able to hold on. At the same time, Oracles is going to get some damage done here at the natural base. 4 probes go down. Not a bad start here for Nice, considering that we weren't able to get too much damage done earlier, so not a bad follow-up, I should even say.
Yeah. And we're actually getting into it. We're getting a macro PvP on Ghost River, which I'm not sure how to respond to that, Light. It's not something that we see every day. It feels unnatural.
It's very illegal. Yes, it is.
It's I don't think there's precedent for it.
Yeah, it's something that
should be illegal.
Yeah, it shouldn't be here, but we're embracing it. As Nice is actually going to be committing across the map. Nice just expanded, just took a 3rd base, but alas, despite that, he's going to be committing quite hard here, warping in a massive wave of Zealots, and we'll see if he can break this location. Shield batteries are still on the way. Not ready yet, though. Oh, no, they're ready.
You know what is ready? These sentries.
Sentries are ready.
Force fields,
and Rocks are being knocked down. We zone away the army. That's going to be 3 shield batteries here. Soon to be 4 at the 3rd base.
That's quite a lot of shield batteries and a lot of energy as well. Sentries do throw down their force fields, and that will zone out a little bit of the army here of SKillous. Nice now hammering down the door. He's got Archons, he's got Immortals, doesn't quite have his Warp Prism in position to juggle all of these, so these Archons, yeah, very vulnerable. will get taken down. The reinforcements of SKillous going to be enough to clean this up.
Yeah, you can see Nice shake his head on cams there as he was very committed. He was basically all in. The third base was a fake out, but alas, he was unable to break through, unable to break the wall of shield batteries. 4 shield batteries were ready there for that push. And SKillous, he defends, he survives, and he takes the tour.
GG. SKillous coming in here, securing the clean sweep for Team Liquid. I believe the second time they've actually gotten a clean sweep.
Oh yeah, very impressive stuff here. GG, well played. SKillous does clean it up here for his team, and a very dominant performance out of Team Liquid. My condolences to Twisted Fairy, as you mentioned. I believe Team Liquid, they are secure in their standings in the playoffs, and best of luck to Twisted Fairy, as I believe they won't quite be able to make it through. We'll have to try to catch up with the math and figure out where they do fall, but for now we're going to be going on a short break. When we return, Basilisk versus Platinum R8.
Here we go. Whew. Stay tuned for that.
See you soon.